Hello, everybody, and welcome once again to another game from my Minnesota Twins replay for 2016 using Strat Advanced. Today we'll be playing game 43 between the Toronto Blue Jays and the Minnesota Twins at Target Field. Today, the Toronto Blue Jays will be coming to town facing the Twins. The Twins currently hold a 16-26 record, and we will get started with the starting lineups. Leading off and playing right field for the Blue Jays is Jose Bautista. Batting second and playing third base is Josh Donaldson. Batting third and designated hitting, Edwin Encarnacion. Playing left field, Michael Saunders. Playing first base, Justin Smoke. Behind the plate catching and batting seventh, Russell Martin. Batting eighth and playing second base, Darwin Barney. And batting ninth and playing center field is Kevin Pillar. And now for the Minnesota Twins, leading off and playing second base is Brian Dozier. Batting second and playing shortstop is Eduardo Nunez. Batting third and playing first base is Joe Mauer. Batting cleanup and playing third base is Trevor Plouffe. Batting fifth and designated hitting is Byung-Ho Park. Batting sixth and playing left field is Robbie Grossman. Batting seventh and playing right field is Oswaldo Arcia. And batting eighth and catching is Kurt Suzuki. And batting ninth is playing center field is Danny Santana. Starting pitchers for today's game for the Toronto Blue Jays is Marcus Stroman, and for the Minnesota Twins, it is Phil Hughes. All right, we'll get started with today's action in just a second. Make sure that everything's cool on the camera, and it is. I'm trying a new angle today just so that everybody can see the scorecard. I saw that Clinton Parks had a beef with ID Jester about not being able to see the scorecard, so I'm going to try a new camera angle. Let me know what you think in the comments, if you like it or not. All right, we'll get started. Here's Jose Bautista against Phil Hughes. 3-7 against a righty. That's right back to Hughes. Throws it over to Mauer, and that's one away. And here is Josh Donaldson, who recently signed with the Atlanta Braves after playing the last bit of the year with the Indians. 5-3 against a righty. That's a left fielder. Play for the left fielder. That is Grossman. He is a 4. If he doesn't get to it, he'll probably make an error because he's got one of the worst error ratings I've ever seen. 4 and a 9. That will be out of range. So in E18, he will make an error. There's no two ways about it. Now we have to see if it's a two base or a 3-base error. Actually, no, there is one way you can make a play. And that's a 10. That is a 2-base error. So Robbie Grossman losing it in the sun or something. Lost it in the lights, and it's a 2-base error. Oops, another double. E7 for Grossman. And that puts runner in scoring position for Edwin Encarnacion. Edwin Encarnacion also played for the Indians last year. 1-9. And he will ground out to the shortstop, Nunez. He looks back, Donaldson throws the first, and there's 2 outs. And here is Michael Saunders. For 7. And Saunders rips one through the hole between second and first. And in to score is Donaldson, and the Blue Jays take a 1-0 lead. All right, here's Troy Tulowitzki. 6-5, and that's a tough play for Nunez. He is a 4 as well, so the Twins not exactly playing their best defensive output today. 4 and an 8. That is out of range. Nunez and E20 will need a 7-12 to make the play. And he just gets the 7 to end the inning, limiting the damage to 1 run. So the Blue Jays score one unearned run on 1 hit and 1 error. And we're at the bottom of the first, 1-0 Blue Jays. And now, leading off for the Minnesota Twins is Brian Dozier. However, in doing research for this game, I found out that Brian is not Brian's real first name. His real first name is James, so his full name is James Brian Dozier. All right, here's the pitch to Dozier, 3-8, and Dozier goes down swinging for the first out, as he puts the K on him, as Baseball Demos likes to say. Here's Eduardo Nunez. 2-7, and Nunez rips a single past Tulowitzki at short for a base hit. Now, with Nunez being an ace stealer, he starts at a 1-15. Martin is a +1, so 1-16. And -2 for being held on, so 1-14. And Nunez will not take off with Mauer, who handles the stick pretty well. Coming up. Maybe with 2 outs, we'll send him. 3-3, fly ball to right. And now we will try to send Nunez to second base. 1-14. And he is in there with an 8. So Nunez steals second base. All right, and here's Trevor Plouffe to try to bring in Nunez. 6-6, and he will not do it. Ground ball right to Tulowitzki, throws over to Smoke for the final out of the inning, and Stroman gets out of the inning. All right, so your score after 1 inning, the Blue Jays 1 and the Twins 0. All right, and leading off for the Blue Jays is Justin Smoke. Now, Smoke will remain with the Blue Jays in 2019. However, like most of the people on this list, he will be a free agent after the 2019 season. All right, so here's a switch hitting first baseman. 4-12 batting lefty. That's a ground ball to Mauer. He is a 2 and a 3, and that is just good enough. Nice diving play. Gets up, flips it to Hughes for the first out of the inning. All right, here's Russell Martin, native Canadian. It's 1-12. And Martin strikes out looking. And here's Darwin Barney, originally a member of the Chicago Cubs. 6-7. That's a tough play for Dozier. He is a 2. And an 11. And that is out of range. He is an E8. So he will need a 5-11. No, he does not do it. Dozier gets a little lackadaisical, pulls Mauer off the bag, and that's an error. Now let's see if the Blue Jays can take advantage of it. There's Kevin Pillar, one of the best defensive center fielders outfielders in the game. 5-8, and almost. Although Pillar has weak power, so it wouldn't have been a home run, but 5-8's a shallow fly ball to center field. Santana camps under it and makes the play to end the inning. And we go to the bottom half of the second inning, and here's due up for the Blue Jays, or for the Twins, is Park, Grossman, and Arcia. It's Marcus Stroman. Now, Marcus Stroman's contract will be up after this season, for those that are wondering. However, since he is only 27, he can only file for arbitration and not be a free agent. All right, 2-7, and that's a strikeout for Park. And here's Robbie Grossman. who just signed a one-year deal with the A's for 7, and against the lefty, that is a strikeout as well. So back-to-back strikeouts for Stroman. And here's Oswaldo Arcia. 3-4, and 45% chance for a double, and he does not get it. Fly ball to center field, run down by Pilar, and that ends the second inning with your score. The Blue Jays 1, the Twins nothing. As Phil Hughes comes out for the third inning. Going back to the top of the order, here's Jose Bautista, who grounded out to Mauer his first time up. 1-8, and if Hughes gets the better of him this time, striking him out. Here's Josh Donaldson. Reached on a two-base error by Grossman. His last time up, 6-8, and he just missed one. Popped it up right to Plouffe. He waits for it to come down, and he squeezes it for the second out. Here is Edwin Encarnacion, the Parrot. 6-5. Tough play for Nunez. No, he will not get it. A 4-2 is a single. And Encarnacion reaches with a 2-out single. Here's Michael Saunders, also a Canadian. So the Blue Jays have 2 native Canadians on their team. 4-7, and once again Saunders rips another single. This time it will not be a run-scoring single. However, it puts runners on first and third with 2 outs. And here is Trey Tulowitzki, who was released by the Blue Jays after the 2018 season, and signed a 1-year, $500,000 deal with the Yankees. 3-5. And a single to 5, so if he gets a 5, he'll score a run. And that's a 4, and that means a little dribbler gets through, and Encarnacion races home. And the Blue Jays take a 2-0 lead. Oh my. So here's Justin Smoke. 5-4. The center field, that's Santana. He's a 3. A 5. Is that going to do it? No. That is a single. Drops in right in front of him. Saunders will score from second. And Tulowitzki will go to third. Oh, this better not be the beginning of the end for Phil Hughes. There's Russell Martin. 2-4, and right now it looks like he's auditioning for Wild Thing here because he throws one and it hits Martin right in the leg. So bases are now loaded for Darwin Barney, and the Blue Jays could crack this wide open here. 4-9, and they would if Barney did not have weak power against righties. A 1-18 will be a single, and the train will keep a rolling. No, it's a 20. And Hughes gets Barney to fly out to left field, and the Blue Jays get 2, but it could have been a lot worse. 2 runs on 4 hits, and after 2.5, it's the Blue Jays 3 and the Twins nothing. And Stroman will face Kurt Suzuki, Danny Santana, and back to the top of the order. Suzuki is now with the Washington Nationals, and he's there through 2020. So for you Nationals fans, you might see him maybe in a backup role. 5-6, and that's a ground ball to the shortstop. Tulowitzki throws over first, and that's 1 away. Here's Danny Santana. 4-4. And that's a ground ball to Donaldson. He's a 2. And a 10, and that's out of range. So Donaldson is an E17. He will need a 7 to 10 or a 12. And that's a 7, and Donaldson gets to it. Throws it over to first, and that's 2 down. And back to the top of the order, Brian Dozier, who is also going to be with the Nationals in 2019. 5-9, and Stroman throws it by him for strike 3, and Dozier is struck out for the second time today. And after 3 complete, it is 3-0 Blue Jays. All right, and Phil Hughes will face Pilar, Batista, and Donaldson for the 4th inning. 2-5, and Pilar rips a single. Now, Pilar is a B stealer, which starts him at a 13. Suzuki does not have a great arm. He's a +2. Puts him at a 15, but he gets a -3 for being held on 1-12. And we're not going to take the bats out of our boppers here. And we'll let Bautista and them swing away. To 6, and Bautista draws the walk. And Pilar moves up to second. Puts runners on first and second. They will hold both runners on. And here's Donaldson. 3-4. That's a fly ball to right. And everybody will hold. And here is Edwin Encarnacion. 2-10. And Edwin Encarnacion gets a hold of one. Deep left center field. High, deep, and gone. And Edwin Encarnacion may have just ended Phil Hughes' day. He's looking into the manager. The manager says, you're going to finish this inning. But a 3-run home run for Edwin Encarnacion puts the Twins up 6-0. And the Target Field faithful are not very happy as the Blue Jays celebrate a 3-run homer. And the the Twins will actually get bullpen action. Taylor Rogers will be loosening in the pen if this gets any more out of hand. I'm going to try to let Hughes finish up the 4th inning. Maybe try to get him through 5. But we'll see. 6-4 to the shortstop. That's Nunez. 4 and a 12. No, it's just out of range. So we'll need that 7-12 again. And that's good enough. So Nunez makes the play for the second out of the inning. And here's Tulowitzki with 2 outs. 6-5. Also another tough play for Nunez, who's getting a lot of work today. 16, and that's a good play, and the inning is over. However, Encarnacion's 3-run home run makes it 6-0 Blue Jays. All right, we go to the bottom half of the 4th inning, and Stroman will face Eduardo Nunez, Joe Mauer, and Trevor Plouffe. Now, Eduardo Nunez would be traded to the Giants during the 2016 season. However, he is now currently with the Red Sox. And is also a free agent after the season. 6-8, and that's a 15% chance single. And he does not get it. So that ball's hit to Donaldson at third. Throws over to Smoke at first, and there's 1 out. Here's Joe Mauer. 4-7 against the lefty, and that's a strikeout. So 2 outs. And here is Trevor Plouffe, And when we get later in the game, I'll tell an interesting story that I found out. Oops, foul balls. Dice jumps off the table. That I found out about Trevor Plouffe. 1-8. And that's a hard smash right to Smoke, and he stabs it for the third out. And we go to the top half of the fifth inning. It is Hughes' point of weakness, and the score is still 6-0. All right, here's Justin Smoke against Phil Hughes. This will most likely be his last inning. 4-9, and against the lefty, that's a single to center field. And Smoke is 2 for 3 on the day with 2 singles. And here is Russell Martin. 6-8, and just gets under it. Pops it up to Plouffe for the first out of the inning. And here is Darwin Barney. 4-8. And this one is ripped down the line. Does not get past. And it is a single for Barney, who reached on an error in the second inning. Smoke will go to third. And we have first and third with 1 out. And they will let him pitch to Pilar. And Pilar may end up being his last batter. Either way, we'll see. 4-6, single to 14. And that's a 2. And that seeks through the hole. Smoke scores. Barney to second. And here comes Paul Molitor out of the dugout. He's seen enough. And in comes Taylor Rogers to finish out the fifth inning. And here Rogers is a lefty, and he'll face the top of the order in Jose Bautista, who is 0 for 2 on the day with a walk. 4-9. And Bautista gets a hold of one. Will it have the distance? Yes, it will. Another 3-run home run, and this is getting to be a laugher here. That is the second home run of the day for the Blue Jays. Their second 3-run homer of the day. And it is now 10-0 Blue Jays. And here is Josh Donaldson. 2-4. And Josh Donaldson goes back to back with Bautista, and it is now 11-0. Wow. And here is Edwin Encarnacion. Can we get 3 in a row? 3-3. No, we will not. Fly ball to left field. Brought in by Grossman. And that is the second out of the inning, finally, as a Bronx cheer comes up from the Twins crowd. Here's Michael Saunders, the left-handed hitting left fielder, 3-10. And that is a strikeout against the lefty. And finally, the inning is over. 2 home runs in the inning make it 5 in the inning, and it is now 11-0 for the Blue Jays. And this one hopefully will not get out of hand where we'll have to use a position player, because I really don't want to have to do that. Okay, so we go to the bottom half of the fifth inning. Byung-Ho Park, Robbie Grossman, and Oswaldo Arcia. Now, Byung-Ho Park is unfortunately no longer in the majors. He is, however, playing with the Kiwoon Heroes for the South Korean Professional Baseball League. So here's Park. 4-9, and that's a fly ball to center. And here's Robbie Grossman. 6-7, and Grossman will get a single to right field, and Bautista throws it back into the infield. They will not be holding on Grossman, and here's Oswaldo Arcia with 1 out. 3-6, and that's a strikeout for Stroman. His 6th of the day. And here is Kurt Suzuki. 5-6. And that's a ground ball. They'll go the short way to get Grossman. And that is the end of the inning. It is 11-0, and Stroman is pretty much cruising at this point. All right, we're going to let Rogers take his lumps. He is weak at this point because he has the 2, and we go by the parentheses is how many outs he gets. So they'll let Rogers pitch at least as long as he can. We'll have Ryan Presley and Trevor May. Actually, we're going to have Michael Tonkin and Ryan Presley listening in the bullpen in case this gets out of hand again. 2-9, and that's a fly ball to center field brought in by Santana for the first out. Here's Justin Smoke, a switch hitter, batting right-handed. 1-6, and that's a strikeout. So it looks like Taylor Rogers is settled in after giving up those 2 home runs. 4-3 against the righty. However, he gives up a walk. And here's Darwin Barney. 4-9. And just as I say he was settling down, he has normal power against lefties. So 1-12 will be a 2-run homer. And that's a 17. And that's a double. And with them being up so much, they will hold Martin at third. Try not to rub it in. We're going to this will be his last batter with Pilar. Either he'll get out of the inning or we're going to bring in Presley. 2-5. That's a base hit. And that'll score 2. And that makes it 13-0. Almost starting to look like a CFL, NFL scrimmage here. And that's it for Taylor Rogers. He will get pulled. And here is Michael Tonkin to try to stop the damage. And here's Bautista. 1-6 against the righty, and he draws a walk. Puts runners on first and second. And here's Josh Donaldson again. 2-7. Double to 9. And that's a 1. And Pilar will score from second. And Bautista will stay at third. So here's Edwin Encarnacion, and the Blue Jays may start looking to maybe start pinch hitting for some of their players here, but they won't start here. 6-6. And Encarnacion with a 10% triple chance. No. But another single, 2 stars. That's another 2-run single. And Tonkin may just be in to kind of got to eat up some innings, kid. 2-run single for Encarnacion. That is his fourth RBI of the day, going along with his 2-run homer with a 2-run single. And that is 5 in this inning, and it is now 16-0. That is not in the. You are not hearing that wrong. Here's Michael Saunders trying to get the final out of the inning. 5, 6, and finally they do. Tonkin strikes him out, and the Blue Jays add another 5 runs. Sorry, and after 5.5, it is the Blue Jays 16, the Twins nothing. And Michael Saunders will be, Marcus Stroman will be coming in to face Danny Santana. We may give a pinch hitter to Dozier here just to kind of give some players some playing time. 6-8 against the lefty, and that's a single to 7, and that's a 12, and that's a ground ball to first baseman Smoke. Runs over, steps on the bag himself, and we will start it's getting, waving the white flag. Dozier went 0 for 2 on the day. We are going to bring in Jorge Polanco, the pinch hit for Dozier, who went 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. So Polanco will come in to play second base. He is a 3 range with an E34. And he will play second base starting with the top half of the 7th. All right, and this is actually Stroman's point of weakness, but unless he gets in major trouble, I don't see how they won't leave him in. 3-10, and Polanco gets a single, so Jorge Polanco trying to get something started for the Twins. Here's Eduardo Nunez. 5-2, and that's the Barney. He is a 2. And that's an 8, and that is not in range. He is an E20, which means he will need a 7 to 10 to make the play. And that's a 10, so he makes the play. Actually, he will make a double play. Yes, he will. Barney to Tulowitzki to Smoke, and that's the end of the inning. As we go to the top half of the 7th, and it is 16-0. Yeah, I guess we'll leave Tonkin in. He's got to eat some innings. We'll let, if anything else happens, we'll get Ryan Presley in. So top half of the 7th, here's Tonkin against Tulowitzki. Six, 7, and that's a walk. And you know what? Paul Molitor has just seen enough. Here's Ryan Presley coming into the game against Justin Smoke, who might be lifted for a pinch hitter. Six, 9. It's the lefty, and that's a strikeout. So Smoke goes down on strikes. Here's Russell Martin, who has come back to the Dodgers after starting his career there. He got traded in January 2019. 5-11. And that goes to Arcia. That's a tough play for Arcia. For 12. is not in range. He is an E9. So he will need a 7 or 9 through 12. And that is an 8, and that is not what he needed. That is a 2-base error for Arcia. And the Twins are just kicking the ball around today. That puts runners on second and third. And here is Darwin Barney. And actually, I think we will pinch hit for him. We will bring Ryan Goins in to hit for Barney as we start almost emptying the benches like it's the last 2 minutes of a blowout for in a basketball game. So Goins will hit for Barney. Barney went 2 for 3 on the day with a single, 2 for 4, with a single and a double, and he reached on an error in the second inning. So Goins will replace Barney at second base. As many of you know, I'm sorry if you can't see this, but I'm left-handed, so of course I'm going to have to, my arms will cover up the score sheet here. Okay, so here's Ryan Goins against Presley. 2-7. And that's a fly ball to center field. Will they send Tulowitzki 11-13? A 13. Yeah, we'll send him, try to get an RBI. And that's a 9, and he will score on the sacrifice fly. I know Twins fans might not be happy, and there may be some retaliation, but they send him, and that makes it 17-0. That's 2 outs in the inning, and here's Kevin Pillar, and he will be replaced by Ezekiel Carrera, also another former Indian at one time. Make this change in the lineup card here. Okay, so 2 outs, and here's Ezekiel Carrera. 3-9, and Carrera strikes out to end the inning. Blue Jays add another run, and we go to the bottom half of the 7th. For those that are still in attendance, take me out to the ball game. Take me out with the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jack. I don't care if I ever get back for root for the Twins. If they don't win, it's a shame. Or it's 1, 2, 3 strikes. You're out at the old ball game. Yay. All right. And Stroman will face Mauer. Actually, will he face Mauer? Yes, he will. All right. Here's Joe Mauer against Marcus Stroman, who's past this point. He's not weak yet. And 4-7, that's a strikeout. And here brings up Trevor Plouffe, and might as well bring this story up now. Trevor Plouffe in 2018 did something that nobody had ever done. He came up with the Phillies for about a week. And on July 24th, 2018, Trevor Plouffe became the first player to hit a walk-off home run against a position player when Kike Hernandez came in to pitch in the 16th inning. Plouffe hit a home run to win the game and is the first ever player to do that in MLB history. So here's Trevor Plouffe. 1-9, and that is a strikeout. That is number 8 on the day for Stroman. And here's Byung Ho Park. 6-6. And that's a ground ball to short, and that ends the inning. And we are through 7, and it is 17-0, Blue Jays. All right, and we will not leave Presley in. We will have Trevor May come into the game for the Twins. Let me update the Twins. So Rogers, Tonkin, and Presley, and May. So Twins bring in their 4th reliever to try to get through the game. We go back to the top of the lineup. And unfortunately, we don't want to empty out the bench. So here is Jose Bautista against Trevor May. .39, and that is a walk to Bautista. His 3rd of the day, to go along with his home run in the 5th inning. Here's Josh Donaldson. 3-8. And that is a ground ball to Plouffe, over to Dozier, back to Maurer. That is an around the horn 5-4-3 double play. And there are 2 outs. About the only thing that's gone right for the Twins today. 5-7. And that's a strikeout for Encarnacion. So we may leave May in for the 9th to finish off the game, because he had one of the quicker innings so far. And we go to the bottom half of the 8th. And Marcus Stroman is still not even through the 3rd time through the order. He has only given up 3 hits so far. A 1st inning single to Nunez, a 5th inning single to Grossman, and a 6th inning single to Dozier. And here is Robbie Grossman. 3-8. And that is a fly ball to left. And here's Oswaldo Arcia. 1-6, and that's a strikeout. That is number 9 on the day for Stroman. And we will have Juan Centeno come in and hit for Suzuki. We'll give Suzuki the rest of the day off. So Juan Centeno will come in and hit for Suzuki. 1-7. That's a weak ground ball to first. Smoke underhands it to Stroman. And we will go to the top half of the 9th inning with the score 17-0. And Trevor May will come out and try to finish off the top half of the 9th here, as most of the fans have hit the exits, trying to get home early. All right, here's Michael Saunders, 6-7. And against the lefty, that's a walk. And here's Troy Tulowitzki. Another 6-7. This time against a righty, that's a double. And they will just move up to 2nd and 3rd. Here's Justin Smoke. 6-6. Against the lefty, that's a strikeout. He's a switch hitter. All right, here's Russell Martin. And we will pinch hit for him with one of our last position players. Here is Josh Tolley. Will come into the game for Russell Martin. So Russell Martin on the day had a tough day. He struck out in the second, was hit by a pitch, popped out the Plouffe, was walked, and then reached on a two-base error. So here is Tolley getting an at-bat. 6-3 to left field. That's Grossman. He is a 4. And that's a 1. That's not good news. That is a triple for Tolley. That'll bring home 2. And the onslaught just continues for the Blue Jays. And we will bring in another reliever here. Kevin Jepson will come in to try to stop the bleeding for May. Actually, no. And we'll let Jepson try to pitch this. I was thinking about going to a position player, but I will not do that. So here's Jepson with 1 out. .110. That's a ground ball to the shortstop. That will not get the job done. Oops.